Hello. I don't even know why I'm here. Maybe I should put some sunglasses on. Hello. I'm live. Hello, one person that's watching. Ask me some questions. If you're here live, ask me some questions. I jumped up on the live to just chit chat and talk with you guys. Oh, hey, I don't even know why I'm live. I just felt like being on the live. Here we are. I ain't got no makeup on. I don't really care. So yeah, I never really go live on anything unless I'm jumping on somebody else's live. I think the only time I ever went live was with Michelle's face. It's good to see your face too, man. But man, I look a mess. I ain't got no makeup on my hair. But see, my hair is not gray no more. Ew, ew. Bitch looks 10 years younger. Ew. So here we are. What are you doing, Lola? What's going on? Talk to me. Let me go to Twitter and tell people I'm live. Maybe they'll come and talk to me. Let's talk boxing, WE, entertainment. Hell, I don't care. I just feel like chatting today. That's probably not the right link. Sorry. Hi, everybody. Oh, shit. What's up, Anthony? Hit the like button. Yeah, everybody got to hit the like button so that, yeah, man, so they can help me out here. What the hell is the damn URL? Let me find what the proper URL is. You know, I went live on my Instagram, but every time I go live on Instagram, my phone gets hot. And I don't know if it's just like my trash phone, but yeah, so I thought I'd be live over here. I'm not looking all, maybe another time I will get all snazzy for you guys, but today ain't that day. I just got off of the press conference with listening in on the Canelo press conference, and I asked Canelo a question. I asked him, I saw a video of him talking to the boy Ryan Garcia, and he was speaking English, and Canelo never speaks English. So I thought, maybe this is the start of trying to do that crossover success that he wants to have, because he's probably the highest paid boxer right now, but that he's definitely not a global star. Oh, here comes this idiot, the dog. Don't mind the dog. Hey, Eugene, chill. So I asked him what he needs to do. Chill. I asked him what he needs to do to be that global star, and when they translated my question, they translated it like I asked, what advice would you give to young fighters who are interested in being a champion like you? Because he was like, when he answered me back, he was like, oh, stay focused, blah, blah, blah. Stay focused. What the hell? I didn't ask you what I need to do to be a boxer. I asked, what do you need to do to be a global star on the same level of a Floyd, of a Manny Pacquiao, of a Miguel Cotto, but a Floyd, a Manny, hell, hell, at this point, I'd say more people know Tyson Fury than they know Canelo. Just an opinion. Just an opinion. So, I don't know what he needs to do. But I was just so surprised that he was speaking English, because he never, ever, 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 ever speaks English. I'm sorry, y'all. This fool is going to act crazy until the mail lady passes, and I don't want to stop the stream. But Lola, since you are here, did you see the video of the Errol Spence crap? Billie G? Of the Errol Spence. He gonna trip. Sorry, y'all. And I don't want to change locations. But that's just very sad. We were just with this dude 2 weeks ago. I was playing with his little daughter. Okay, I think we might have some quiet. Look at this badass little dog. Terrible. Billie Jean. So just terrible. Hello to all four of you who are watching. Hit the like button. Um, contribute to the super chats. I think I can do that. If you have a super chat, hit the little dollar. I watch so many people's live streams and I never ever really think about the logistics of what's going on unless you're somebody like say like the boxing boys or boxing ego that have all these fancy graphics and things that are going on the screen whenever they're doing their live streams. I never really put into a whole lot of thought into how difficult it is to create um, those things, those extras or whatever you call them that they do that go into their broadcast that make their broadcast good. I can't say that I'm going to be doing all that, but I do respect the work and the effort that goes into that. I was just over on Twitter, and during the conference call, Canelo said that he doesn't want to fight Andrade. I was having some back and forth discussion with my girl Gail Falkenthal, who writes for Digi News. She's based down in San Diego, and they announced Golovkin's opponent, and it's his mandatory or whatever. Never heard of him. And, I tweeted that I missed the good old days when someone announced their mandatory and you knew who the hell the mandatory was. And so she was like, oh, he was on the undercard of the recent fight. That didn't really tell me anything. I went to the boxing rankings and looked at his boxing rankings. And, he's ranked by the IBF, like number 4, number 5, wherever they have him in the rankings. That still doesn't tell me anything about him. I remember when earlier in Golovkin's career, when he fought like the Martin Murrays and those, and the Willie Monroes and those people who were his mandatories, we kind of knew what the trajectory was for him to cold-blooded. We knew where the mandatories came from. Now they got all these little random ass mandatories. I don't understand where these people are coming from. And I think I hurt a little feelings by saying that's a whack fight. Yeah, you could fight his mandatory, but it's also that much easier to pay this mandatory some step aside money and fight your label mate Demetrius Andrade or promotional mate Demetrius Andrade or whatever they are over there on DAZN. Andrade was at the fight. He already said, look, I want the winner. I'm with that action. Let me get the winner of Triple G, Derevianchenko, which was a great fight. Or, he's about that Canelo action. He's a 160-pounder. He's a former champion. He wanted the fight. No one wants to fight Andrade. So during a conference call, Canelo said he doesn't want to fight Andrade because he poses no challenge and he's a boring fighter. Apples, oranges, whatever. We go through the lineage. Let's not say he's a boring fighter because we could look at the fight Triple G versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That was garbage. And a lot of money was made in that fight. And Chavez didn't do not a damn thing. So the boring excuse kind of sucks. So you got Andrade now. He's just kind of on an island by himself. Triple G's not fighting him because Triple G is going to fight whoever this is that they announced today. His mandatory. I got to look the name again. And Canelo said he's not boring. So and Billy Joe Saunders moved up to 168. And he's fighting a nobody that nobody knows. So what is the point of him fighting? Let me go back to my tweets and look at his name. What's up, Frank Pittman? Don't think GGG can have 2 hard back-to-back fights anymore. Would ruin what's left of that guy. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not a young guy. And when he turned pro, he fought, what did they say, like 300 amateur fights? And, let's just not pretend like the trajectory of his career has been the most competitive, shall we say. But if a person's fighting their mandatories and he's trying to chase down the big fights, they don't give him the good fights. I could see certain that. I never understood why he didn't fight Charlo, because Tom Loeffler has always prided himself on his ability to work with anybody, and he has. We've seen Tom Lawler work with Heyman. We've seen him work with Top Rank. We've seen him work with Oscar. So why couldn't they get this Charlo fight cracking? But now you've got, oh, we can blame it on DAZN. He fights for on Fox and Showtime, and Triple G is contractually obligated to fight on DAZN. So what are they going to do with him? Okay. Also, during the conference call, Canelo said, he doesn't pose me a challenge because I already beat him twice. That's what he said. His words, not mine. He's like, but what he does pose is opportunity. So, with that being said, where does how does this build the story of this epic third final fight if he's fighting people just running through and people we don't know about, and Canelo is fighting Kovalev, and this week he a middleweight. Next week he's a light heavyweight. Hell, 2 fights from now he might be a cruiserweight. He might jump up to 230 and fight Anthony Joshua. Who knows? So just the trajectory of how they're ultimately supposed to get to each other, I don't understand it. But I don't know what to do with him. It's got these factions are so weird. You've got it's just okay. Let's start with welterweights. We'll go up in weight. Let's start with the welterweights. Now we know all of the premier welterweights reside over on PBC, and they're with Al Heyman. You've got Thurman, Spence, Garcia, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. So they've got Terrence Crawford over there on Top Rank on an island by himself. Then for middleweights, you've got Canelo, Triple G, Andrade over there on the DAZN island. So that Charlo's kind of shit out of luck. And then now with the heavyweights, at least they're a little bit more mobile, willing to do business with each other. If you've got Ruiz, Wilder, hell, even Stay Busy fights Brazil, Areola. You got all the heavyweights over on the PBC island, and then you've got Anthony Joshua, Dylan White, I guess, Joseph Parker, I guess. It's just too many factions that's preventing us from seeing the best fights. And I know at the end of the day, it's prize fighting. It's all about money, but attached with that money comes legacy and lineage and all of that. So back to the whole thing with Andrade. What should Andrade do? Exactly. Frank Pittman, all on DAZN and none fighting one another. Anybody who is a fan of DAZN should never, ever, ever have anything to say about Al Heyman from this point going forward, because at least they're fighting each other. You've got, it's almost like Survivor. You had Molina and Josecito. We saw Sean and Garcia. We saw Sean and Thurman. We saw Errol Spence's, man, prayers for him, was going to face Garcia next. Do we like the fight? No. But are they fighting each other? Yes. The Canelo Triple G thing happened before DAZN. So, what do we do with that? They're all on DAZN for no reason. Yay, Anthony, I'm so proud of my little $2 super chat. You're my very, very first super chat. So, I don't want to bite the other streamer's swag and be like, smash the like button. Let's get them super chat. We got to get them likes up. Shout out to the boy Ego. I like boxing Ego. He's a funny guy. But I'm so proud of my first little super chat. Hi, the Infamil. Are you a baby? The Infamil? Am I saying it right? But I don't know what these fighters are going to do with one another. Hopefully, we'll see some good fights. Especially since DAZN has been running this whole commercial, and I do like the commercial with the dream, the impossible dream, and they've got Ruiz over there and Joshua and Canelo and Golovkin all in that teaser commercial. That's pretty dope. Frank Pittman says part of the issue at middleweight is Canelo. He's a cash cow that's now moonlighting at 175 and 168. Exactly. I mean, what did Oscar say on this conference call? Oh, he's chasing like a legacy. He's trying to do something he's never done. But, and Dan Rayfield compared him to how Oscar went up and did a few weight divisions. But Oscar was still dominant in his weight divisions. I don't think Canelo can be an undisputed middleweight champ until he goes and sees Charlo. Now, if he runs all up through Charlo, then hey, it's what it is. Oh, shit. What's up, Fred? What's up to the homeboy barbershop conversations? Fred, man, I admire what you do. You have your lane and you are driving through that mug at 145 miles an hour. So salute to the guy, Fred. Um, okay, my bad. The infamil. I was just teasing you. Frank, nobody wants to see Canelo Triple G. The numbers tell it 1.3 mil. First fight 1.1. I want to know, because people love to get hung up on numbers. Where are the numbers from Triple G's fights? Everybody's like, oh, this pay-per-view only sold this many pay-per-views. Okay, why don't we ever see the numbers from DAZN? Because if DAZN is anything like Netflix, probably the whole block got the same login. So is that a true indicator of their numbers? I'm very curious to why that's been taken out of the narrative since it's such a big deal. Oh, when Spence fought Garcia, let's see what the numbers are. Oh, Spence fought Sean Porter. Let's see what the numbers are. Hmm. Oh, thank you. I just try to enjoy what I do. I appreciate that, the infamil. At the end of the day, when I'm trying to conduct an interview, I try to take the approach that, yes, that you're tuning in somewhat for me, but you're tuning in more so for the talent. And to be a good interviewer, I think that I need to be the kind of the conduit for the story. And my job is to ask the questions that are going to bring not only the story, the personality, all those things. I like to see the personality of people. So I just try to ask questions that bring out the personality. For example, on back to this Canelo call, I asked Canelo about this video with him speaking English with Ryan Garcia, because if you follow Canelo, you know he never, ever, ever speaks English, ever, ever, ever. But we know very well that he understands it. And so I asked, it's fun to see you doing some different things. Do you think you're a global superstar or a crossover star? And if you don't think you are currently, what do you need to do to be that global star on the same par with a Floyd or a Manny Pacquiao? And he answered me, I don't know if it was lost in translation or whatever, but he answered me like I was a high school student asking, Canelo, what do I have to do to make sure that I become a star one day like you? Because his response was like, oh, stay focused. You have to stay focused. I don't want to be no damn boxing champion. I'm asking you if you think you're that dude. Now, see, the Canelo of old, I was expecting a little clap back, a little attitude. I don't mind when fighters clap back and have some attitude because that's the essence of who they are. I was expecting him to be like, I'm that dude already. You better recognize. But he gave me that little softball answer. I don't know what the hell is that. DAZN doesn't release their numbers because their numbers don't lie. That's facts. That's facts. Let's see. DAZN only posts overall subs, but not views to the fight. Well, I know if they keep putting Triple G in these whack ass fight, they need to come up off this $19.99 and bring it back down to $9.99 with the 7-day free trial. Billie Jean, relax. Yeah, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. I appreciate your patronage here at Bad Culture TV. So, and follow Bad Culture TV on Instagram. Frank, or no, the infamil. You said, do I think Floyd will fight again in like a regular fight? No, because he has no reason to. He's achieved all he needs to achieve. If Floyd gets back in the ring, it'll be something I think like something fun, like a showcase fight, like what he did down there when he went overseas and he fought down in Japan. I forgot where that was, where he did the fight. I think it'd be a showcase thing like that, but he doesn't really need to fight. He's very rich. He stays rich. He's enjoying his life. He's achieved all that he needs to achieve. If he does, it'll be another, like a Conor McGregor thing or just something like a showcase. But in terms of like a fight, like making a run for a title, nah, I don't think Floyd's going to fight again. And he doesn't have to. Let me tell you, could barely speak. Exactly, Frank. I'm starting to become a little bit of a fan of Usyk. He is so goofy and weird, but then he goes out there and fights. I remember there was a time Usyk kind of looked like he was a killer. Then he went through this span of about 2 or 3 fights. I think it was in 2017, where I was just like, I'm not buying into the hype of Usyk. I didn't see what everybody else was seeing, but then he went into that World Boxing Super Series tournament and ran through everybody. And I'm like, oh, okay, he just might be a killer. So we'll see what he does. I think he's a little bit cursed. He was supposed to make his pro debut before. He had a bicep injury. And then now he's supposed to make his pro debut this coming weekend. They got the last minute replacement, Chaz Witherspoon. He's probably going to knock him out in like one round. He was supposed to fight this dude Sponge. I don't know where they found him from. He tested positive for a banned substance. He's saying that he got set up. And then on top of that, Sponge has got some other criminal things. The police are looking for him because his pet cougar got out. But the comedian in me was like, his cougar got out. What's her name? But yeah, so now they got him fighting Chaz Witherspoon. How come Canelo and Triple G never call out any fighters? The last time I heard Canelo call out a fighter was Floyd, and Floyd answered his call, and we know how that turned out. Triple G, the only fighter he's called out is Canelo, and he's even backpedaled on that a bit because they gave him that big DAZN cash out, and it was very telling after the fight with Derevianchenko. Derevianchenko gave him that work, and I don't care what Derevianchenko's face looked like. I thought he beat Triple G minimally a draw, edged him out, even with the knockdown. I still think Derevianchenko won that fight, and so after the fight, he's like, "Oh, I need more focus. I need more focus. You need more focus. You done cut off everybody's media access except for your little anointed few. You got rid of your old publicist. I don't know what Tom's over there doing anymore. I mean, Tom's still with him. Let me not be disrespectful, but I mean, what are you doing? You over there living life with your 100 million or whatever the hell it was with DAZN. And then for this fight, a earned paycheck because Derevianchenko gave him the work, but 7.5 million cash and 7.5 million in equity for DAZN. Does DAZN even have 7.5 million in equity? Are they making 7.5 million off of their subscribers? How many subscribers? Does anybody have that information? If anybody could hit me on the Google, hit the Google for your girl real quick, and tell me how many subscribers DAZN have, and how many of them are paying this $20 rate, and how many of them are paying the old $9.99 rate or whatever it was when they first rolled out. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Yeah, but Usyk, he's cool. I'm definitely going to be tuned in to watch it. That fight's going down in Chicago this weekend. I'll probably be tweeting for Boxing Insider or something, doing scores or whatever. So we'll see. Usyk calling out Wilder before his heavy. I'm trying to tell you, Usyk is about that action. He's a rough dude. He's a rough dude. So I'm very curious to see what he does at heavyweight. There are some people are saying he's too small to fight at heavyweight, but that doesn't mean nothing. People forget Steve Cunningham put Tyson Fury on his back a few years ago. So it's whatever. It's whatever. So we'll see what Usyk does. If you can fight, you can fight. Period. If anything, Triple G should be, man, run it back. That was a great fight, but he don't want that action anymore. He don't want that action. So that was a good fight. The problem with DAZN is, for the most part, boxing is still like an old man sport. And I know, speaking from experience with my own mama, if I was somewhere and my mother's told me, hey, I want to watch the fight, what channel is it on? I'd say, oh, it's on DAZN. You've got to get the DAZN app. She'd be like, what? I got to do what? Girl, I could barely send a text message. So, I mean, and not everybody has smart TVs yet. So I'm not anti-DAZN like some people are, but I'm just not. It's going to take some time. And not only that, DAZN just still feels like an English company to me, or East Coast company. A lot of fighters are here on the West Coast, and I just, every DAZN event that I attended here, it just felt like, I don't know, it's just something not clicking that I just don't understand. Let's see. So we've got Usyk. When is Lomachenko gonna fight again? Oh, here's a question now that we have Errol Spence, who probably won't be fighting anytime soon. That's going to put, and when he does, they're probably going to, if he is able to return to his form, I'm praying that he does. And I'm just praying that he's healthy and he can be there for those beautiful, beautiful little girls. This also, I mean, it's too soon to talk about it, but it does shake up the welterweight division. So now you've got Danny Garcia, who was supposed to fight him. Why they brought him in the ring, I don't know. So we still got Garcia and Spence and Pacquiao, Danny Garcia, not Mikey. Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. Uh, Hell, even Berto. If you want to bring Berto out the bullpen, you probably could bring him back in. But what happens to the welterweight division now over on PBC? Because we have to wait and see what's going to happen to Spence, but the party still has to go on. And now I can't remember what month they were saying they wanted to do the fight with Spence and Garcia. Was going to be sometime this spring, I imagine. But what happens with that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad you guys are so lit in the chat. Smash the like button. Hit us with the super chats because it keeps the channel growing and thriving. Maybe sometime I'll do a live and if I'm at a fight and I'll get somebody to jump on with me. But it's kind of hard to do them when you're during fight week with the current computer setup just because the sound isn't good. I mean, I know this is probably not the best sound because I'm just using the regular speakers that are in the computer. I'd probably have to use some type of external audio source, but it's a start. It's a start. I'm not saying I'm going to be doing a live like every day or every week or anything like that, but I will jump up on here once in a while. Oh yeah, the infamil Errol Spence was in a really, really horrible car crash. I don't know if you are a big, or even if you're a big fan of other social media platforms, but if you go on Instagram or Twitter, they have the footage. I guess there was maybe looked like a restaurant across the street from where the footage took place, and they showed the footage of the car cartwheeling over and over and over and over, and they're saying that Errol didn't have a seatbelt on and he was ejected from the car. And now in hindsight, that might have saved his life because if he stayed in that car the whole time, Jesus Christ, that car just. What happened to the big drama show? Hell, what happened to Mexican Style? What happened to that? What happened to Belts Matter? And then after that, it was, I don't care about belts. I don't care about best fights. I don't care about belts. But what happened to that? When you have Jonathan Banks as your trainer, can you call it a Mexican Style anymore? If Abel Sanchez was a troll, he'd be like, you ain't fighting no Mexican Style. You don't have anybody Mexican in your camp. And how come Triple G's English hasn't gotten any better? I'm not the biggest fan of Kovalev, but hell, Kovalev's English is quite superior to all of them. Hell, even Dmitry Bivol's English is better than that. Dmitry Bivol, I think, is fighting on the undercard this weekend of the fight this weekend. Let me double check of the Usyk fight. So Usyk is Bivol is a light heavyweight, I believe. Let me see. I'm going to look at Twitter and see if there's anything popping over there that I can bring over into the chat. Okay, so we were talking again, like I said, I was talking about Demetrius Andrade. What's that millionaire radio? GGG is getting up in age and it's showing. I don't like Banks as his trainer. I agree. I got the utmost respect for Jonathan Banks, but Triple G's old. He's 37. I don't see what the benefit was of bringing Banks into his career at this time, and he didn't want to pay Abel that money. So you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. So I was talking about the Demetrius Andrade thing and how he's pretty much in hell right now. Triple G ain't fighting him. Canelo said he don't want to fight him. Billy Joe Saunders moved up to 168. And Andrade's a pure middleweight. So what does he do over there? What does he do over there? He could fight Charlo, but Charlo ain't going to fight on DAZN. So is he going to go over to Showtime or Fox or whatever? Would they be down with that? Who knows? One of my Twitter followers, Alif Renault, says he felt, referring to Demetrius Andrade, he fell for the don't trust Al Heyman bullshit. Now look, I don't feel bad for any of them crying that they can't get fights. PBC fighters with 5 losses are still actively getting fights. Angulo, Lopez, Guerrero, that's facts. Hell, was in a nice little scrap. It was nice for TV. The heavyweight, Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola was still getting a fight. Look at Josecito Lopez, John Molina. John Molina says he's done, and I'm glad. I like John Molina a lot. He's a nice guy, but yeah, he Josecito ran through his ass. Um, let's see. Irv Rodriguez says same benefit. Crawford re-signed with Top Rank, aka guaranteed money. Let me ask you guys. Let's say you're a fighter and you felt this in your blood and you've been doing this since you were a child. Would you be satisfied going over to a platform or a promoter and getting a huge signing bonus, even if it meant you kind of sitting on the bench and kind of taking subpar or B and C level competition? Would that matter to you as long as you got that upfront signing bonus that can enable you to take care of your family for a long time? Does anybody fight for lineage and legacy anymore? We've got the people are voting right now on the Hall of Fame. The Boxing Writers Association are doing Hall of Fame ballots right now. So does legacy even matter anymore? What do you guys think? Let me know if you think legacy matters anymore. Let's see what y'all got here. Robert Garcia would be about the best trainer for Triple G. Robert Garcia got too many people in his camp right now. I mean, they got a good thing going. Got rid of the gym that was up north in Oxnard. That gym belongs to the manager for Lomachenko and Usyk, the Russian gentleman. I can't think of his name right now, but they own that gym. So Robert got his gym down there in Riverside, and he's got a lot of fighters. I don't know. I don't know who a good fit would be for Triple G at this point because, again, he's old. He's not old as a human being, but he's old as a fighter. 37 years old is a long time to be fighting. And at what point? It's like kind of like when Cotto went over to Freddie Roach. What was Freddie Roach really teaching Miguel Cotto at that point? Yeah, I get it. You guys like each other. It's cool, Jimmy. But what are you really teaching him at that age? Sean could have won if he wasn't swinging and missing. His timing sucks. Well, the thing with Sean Porter is he just has a different type of fighting style. And it's kind of awkward and a bull in a china closet type of style, but it's effective because he was landing in there and it's so awkward and it's hard to defend against. So, he's of the age too. His fighting style won't be changing anytime soon. Aquarius love, no. Know what, dear? Let me know what you're knowing too. Egas Klimas. Thank you, Frank and Domo. Yeah, Egas got a good thing going. He's got Usyk, he's got Kovalev, he's got Lomachenko, and then whoever guys they're building up over there. I was interviewing Egas Klimas a while back, and he told me that his ultimate goal is to be a promoter. He's not going to be a manager forever, so you might be looking at, or maybe he still will be. You might be looking at Russian Al Heyman over there making his ascent on the way up. But he told me before he ultimately wants to be a promoter. Let's see. The most entertaining boxer to me is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones is hilarious. If you're new to my channel, go search in the videos and find some of my interviews with Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones is hilarious. He and I and Raging Bay did an interview once in Vegas. I think it was during when Bradley fought Pacquiao the third time. And we had this bowl of questions, and you have to reach into the bowl and pull out a question. Whatever the question is, you have to answer. So Roy reaches into the bowl and pulls out a question. And the question that he got was, if you had 24 hours to live, what would you do with those 24 hours? The man Roy Jones Jr. told us he would have sex for 23 of them hours and take a bath the last hour so he could be clean when he go. And then he spit a hot 16 for us. I love Roy Jones Jr. so much, and I miss him on the mic so much. He probably got paid out of his contract, but he's probably still under contract for HBO because they need to put him on the desk because I'm not the biggest fan of the DAZN commentating team. Hell, let's look at the fight last week with Triple G and Derevianchenko. They don't know what they're doing over there unless it's kind of like I think that maybe the commentators, Chris Mannix, it's Sergio Mora, the Latin Snake, and I forgot who their third person on it. It's almost like they're taking a WWE approach where you have like the protagonist announcer, and then you've got the heel announcer, and then you've got a neutral person because Chris Mannix was acting like Derevianchenko was their guy, and he was dogging Triple G out. And I'm like, oh, I like my company manning to a minimum, but he was dogging Triple G out. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but Roy Jones is fantastic. I miss him very, very much on the commentating desk. I always, you always could get some good Roy isms um, when he was on the desk for HBO. I don't super miss his colleague. Max. We got more Max than we need on our TV. What's his name? Who was crying all the time? See, I'm getting old. I can't remember all this stuff. I got too much stuff in my brain, but I don't miss him as much as I miss Roy. Let's see, what else can we talk about? We've talked about Triple G, we talked about Andrade, we've talked a little bit about Canelo, we've talked about um, Errol Spence. Let me take Jim Lampley. Thank you, Frank. I'm not super duper missing Jim Lampley all that much. But definitely no disrespect, but I ain't missing him too much right now. Let's see. Let's just take a quick glance at what some of the boxing topics are going on right now. I know Jamel Herring is got a fight coming up. He wanted a unification bout, but his the person he wanted to unify was talking a lot of yin yang and didn't come through. Oh, Regis Prograis is going to be fighting pretty soon in the World Boxing Super Series finale. What do you guys think of Regis Prograis? He's a 140 champ, and with the win, I think he becomes the undisputed 140-pound champ. Let me look at the rankings here real quick, courtesy of fightnews.com. They're probably the only site that keeps the rankings up to date. So shout out to them for that. I refer to them often. So we've got Regis Prograis, the kid Mario Barrios. I thought Mario Barrios lost that fight on the Spence Porter undercard the other day. We've got Jose Ramirez. He's over there at top rank. What do you let me know? Let me know what you think of Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is from Louisiana. I think we're cousins. I asked him if he knew some LaBeoufs. He was like, as a matter of fact, I did. I do. Oh, yeah, good topic. Clarissa Shields. So we had the Clarissa Shields incident the other day where someone from her, we won't say her camp because she said that person is not in her camp, but attacked the trainer Bashir Ali. And yes, why it's very sad what happened to Bashir Ali, but I read an article recently that was very disappointing to me. Lance Pugmire, who is now of The Athletic, he used to be of the LA Times, is generally a writer that I enjoy. He's generally pretty neutral, and I usually like his approach to storytelling when he writes an article, but I didn't like this last article. The title was so clickbaity. It was something like Clarissa Shields wants to be the face of boxing and she should act like it. She should act like it. Should she what? Temper down her confidence? She's a champion. She has survived unsurmountable odds to get where she is, and she's a two-time Olympian. She didn't hit the trainer over the head. Yeah, granted, let's talk about the commission. Maybe the commission should have had more security there. Let's talk about the fact that he was being wild disrespectful to someone on her team. Bitch, 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 monkey, monkey, monkey. What's up with that? Everyone should keep their hands to themselves. I agree. But I think that Clarissa Shields is shouldering a lot of the blame for something she didn't do. She was on a scale weighing in. There's been all kind of people spazzing out at a weigh-in before. That's why you need security. Maybe they should look at the commission where the fight was taking place. Maybe the commission was weak. I don't know. I think there's enough blame to pass around to everyone, and it doesn't rest solely on on her shoulders. And yes, she wants to be the face of women boxing, and with that, yes, you do need to tighten up your camp and who you have around you, because now this incident has not only messed up the bag. When Bashir Ali when he recovers, he's probably going to sue. He's probably going to sue someone, and so that's more money that she has to come out of the pocket for. But he was being wild disrespectful. The Bashir Ali was being very, very disrespectful. So it's just a bad situation all around. He was talking that shit. They say somebody hit him with some brass knuckles on. I know he got hit from behind, which is a bitch move. And he fell on his face and he like cracked some bones in his face. So that's, snuffing an old guy is pretty whack. Because I mean, the man he was wrong for what he said, but the man is 70 years old. You gonna snuff a 70-year-old man? But again, Clarissa didn't snuff him. I don't like the narrative. I don't like the whole ghetto, 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 ghetto girl. Like, people just look for a reason to jump on her. You know, it's whack all the way around. There's enough blame for everyone. She's super young. Can't exactly. The thing that people not remembering is the fact that she is very young, and a lot of this is very new to her. Yes, she was in the Olympics, but Olympians don't get paid. How many people do we know with gold medals who come out of Olympics who don't have any money? They become public speakers or whatever. People don't have the same energy for other athletes and other sports when they do dumb shit. It might be a story, a headline for a couple days, and it becomes a joke. And now with her, it's like a whole catastrophe, and she has ruined the sport of boxing. Improve the security at a weigh-in. Have her handler will talk to her about who comes to the weigh-in or whatever. And people need to be respectful with their tone. We got a whole video of bitch, get out my face, bitch, monkey. That whoever snuffed him didn't appreciate him calling that woman bitches and monkeys. So, I feel like if somebody was disrespecting me like that, my people will hoorah too. It is what it is. Yes, it's boxing. It's not a tea party, but respect needs to be distributed everywhere around. And at the end of the day, she was on the scale. She was on the scale weighing in. Yeah, Frank, I agree. And the infamil, why was the chick arguing? So from what I've gathered from the story, they were doing the weigh-in, and Clarissa was on the scale first, and the trainer Ali, he was like leaning in, trying to see the scale, or I don't remember what it was. And I think that someone on her immediate circle, one of the women on her team, was like, "Okay, back up." And he's back up, bitch, better back your monkey ass. You better back your monkey ass up, bitch. And then I guess he went to sit down, and before the Clarissa's opponent could get on the scale, somebody snuffed him from behind. So, why is that old man calling that woman all types of bitches and monkeys, and why are people snuffing old people from the back? It was just whack all the way around. Yeah. Yeah. Habazin could have said, chill, Bashir. Chill. Again, there's enough blame for everyone. Let's see what else is going on in boxing news right now. Jason Quigley, Oh, Burchell. That's who Jamel Herring wants to fight, but he's not getting that fight. So let's see. Regis Prograis talked about Dormani Rock, the heavyweight. Bivol is fighting this weekend. Bivol fights for main events. Billy Joe Saunders versus Marcelo Caceres finalized for November 9th. So let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders. And the fact that he's not being called out for this whack ass opponent that he's fighting. He's supposed to be the 168 champ. When he was at 160, he was, let's call it a, let's keep it a buck. He was ducking Triple G. When they wanted that fight, they went on and on and on and on, and they were supposed to come to an agreement where he was going to fight Triple G, and then at the last minute he didn't sign the contract, so Triple G ended up fighting I can't remember. Let me look at the box rec. But at any rate, he could have stayed around at 160 and chased for some titles, but he didn't. He ended up moving up to 168 to fight whoever the hell this guy is. And Billy Joe Saunders is the WBO champion. And so, since we're having this whole argument about people fighting their mandatories, Billy Joe's mandatory, it looks like, is someone named Eric Bazinian. But that's not who he's fighting. He's fighting this guy who I just told you. You know, people choose their narratives to be convenient when they want to. People should fight their mandatories, but, you know, fighting your mandatories only pertain to certain people. And I remember when the last time I was actually in the mix with Triple G, when he had a press conference and he was asked about fighting Billy Joe Saunders now that they were both on DAZN. He told my colleague, Steven, oh, I want a serious question. That's not serious question. You want to talk box? We talk box, but that's not serious question. You know, so I don't know. Billy Joe Saunders is a piece of work. He's popped dirty before, if I'm not mistaken. He's just, I don't know. And you know, just skipping around, if we're going to talk about dirty fighters, when is Big Baby going to come back, since they're saying that he's only going to be suspended for 6 months? And I see he's been popping up places again. He was in New York last week for the fight. I don't know. Boxing's a mess. I don't know if boxing needs like an overall global commission, or I don't know how they fix it, but boxing is just still a lot the old wild west. Boxing as a sport, boxing press, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Let's see. What should we talk about now? Wow. I'm coming up on an hour. Make sure that you hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe to Bad Culture TV, where I will bring you a mix of boxing and entertainment content, and probably some other stuff too. You know, I like to get out there and I like to film a lot of things. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on the channel. And also, if you would like to hit the $ and contribute to the super chat, all of those things keep the channel functioning and healthy. So make sure you hit the button. Before I wrap it up, let me see what people are saying on Twitter, because, you know, folks be all in their feelings when I tweet. You know, people don't have all that energy for Dan and Lance and Cop and all them. But when I send a couple tweets, you know, people get tight. You know, I guess I'm supposed to stay in my black ass female place, but I'm not. So let's see what people are saying. Well, don't blame it on others. The formula to this is in response to Andrade. Well, don't blame it on others. The formula to get your big fight is stay active, look spectacular, and make sure that you cannot longer be ignored. Andrade is just a very good fight for Canelo, not really better than Charlo, Triple G, or Derevianchenko. See how they changed the narrative? I remember when people were thinking Andrade was like the boogeyman, but well, maybe not the boogeyman, but all of a sudden Andrade's not a good fight. Okay, if you say so. Doesn't matter if he's a good fight. You guys are on the same platform. He's a former champion. And I think more people probably know him than they knew Derevianchenko. And that's not a diss on Derevianchenko. But now that the fight is done, people are acting like they just all knew who Derevianchenko was. If that's the case, then why didn't Triple G fight Derevianchenko before instead of fighting Vanes Martirosyan? You feel me? So I'll probably respond to that guy when I get off of the live, and we'll see what happens. When is Tank Davis going to fight someone real? Leonard was out here with us during the Spence fight weekend. They made the announcement of the Wilder Ortiz 2 fight. And from Leonard's point of view, not to put words in his mouth, they are concentrating on doing a slow build for Tank Davis, mimicking what they did with Floyd. His words, not mine. I don't know what to tell you about Tank Davis. He seems formidable. I think Tank Davis's biggest issue is his weight because he really puts it on between fights. I'm probably going to get cussed out when people start pulling out bits and pieces of this. But Tank Davis is a good fighter. And every time he goes out, he does what he needs to do. Should he be more active? Absolutely. Absolutely. But every time he goes out, he runs through these people. He should be a bit more active. Crawford should be a bit more active too. We could pull it apart. Triple G should be a bit more active. Canelo should be a bit more active. But Canelo settled into the superstar lifestyle of fighting twice a year. We could say that about a lot of different fighters. Should be more active. Let's see. Yeah, Tank, he be eating good. He be eating good. And because I just saw him, he's back in the gym working out, but I saw a video of him. Him and Broner have that in common. Broner used to blow up pretty big between fights. And what's up with Broner? We talked about 147s. He's not retired, so what's up with Adrian Broner? Do you guys want to see Adrian Broner fight again? Should he be fighting again? Like, if you could pick an opponent for Adrian Broner, who would you like to see him fight? And how would you categorize Broner at this point in his career? Is he a gatekeeper? I mean, love him or hate him, we know he puts asses in seats. Like, what would you want to see happen with Broner? So we don't know. Frank says he needs a nutritionist. He needs a lot of things. But I mean, he's been quiet. He hasn't been getting in trouble. So that's always a good thing. His peer, Shakur Stevens, has a fight coming up as well. He's fighting Joet Gonzalez, who is the brother of his lady. And just a little backstory on that. Her and Shakur have been together a long time, so it's not like a troll move. Let's see. I respect Broner because he doesn't turn down. That's true. Broner doesn't really turn down anything but his collar. The only thing I ever saw Broner turn down was when they were trying to give him a little bit of chump change to fight Pacquiao. And I'm going to fill him on that because he does put asses in seats. I mean, he's not the global star that Pacquiao is, but I think they were trying to pay him a pittance. And he was like, nah, I want more money than that. So, Broner crazy, but he take fights. AB is definitely a gatekeeper now. In my opinion, won't be able to win a big fight. I think a good fight for him could be Baranchik or the guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he'll fight again, but, he need to lose some weight. Me too. Let's see. Broner will fight, and we got to respect that even as a client. Absolutely. Absolutely. He will fight. Again, he don't turn nothing down but his collar. He ain't turning down fights. He ain't turning down meals. He ain't turning down jewelry, etc. Let's see. Who else? Oh, what do you guys think? One last question, because I'm gonna wrap it up when we get on the 60-minute mark. Who do you think that Manny Pacquiao is going to fight next? So Manny Pacquiao has already started tweeting that he low-key, he bored, and he want to get back into camp, and he want to start fighting again. Mikey Garcia has been pretty quiet over there, and we know Mikey will slip in and get a fight. Do you think Pacquiao fights Mikey Garcia next? Do you think he rematches Thurman? Well, he don't really need to rematch Thurman. He'd beat Thurman's ass. But who do you think fights Manny Pacquiao next? because he's made it very clear that he intends on fighting. So who do you think is next for Manny Pacquiao? Let's see. Manny earned the right to fight anyone he wants. Pretty sure it's Mikey. Yeah, yeah, Frank. He's putting that work, and he's saying he ain't quitting. His wife, I think his wife wants him to stop fighting, but he say he ain't stopping fighting. Manny looked good in that Thurman fight. Good grief. He put the beats on one time. One time still looked pretty good though. You know, he's injured again. I saw him during the Spence Porter fight week, and you know, he took some questions. Oh, hey, there's my other brother. Look at that. Look, when you have both your brothers, and these are my blood brothers, same mothers in my chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. Got my whole family up in here. See, your real ones hold you down. Manny surprised me against Keith one time as well. It really, really surprised me as well. Um, he turned back the time clock, and he was looking like old Manny with that jumping in and out. But he got some. Father Time is ticking for him too, and Father Time is undefeated. Man, I hope Errol Spence is okay. I hope he's okay. I'm glad that he is. They're saying that the injuries are not life threatening. I hope that my biggest hope and prayer for Errol Spence's recovery is that he is in a really good, comprehensive place that will really examine him to make sure like something crazy doesn't happen, like a blood clot, or those type of things can happen a lot when people have those type of injuries. I just hope they are really truly giving him the best comprehensive care. So, man, and then that's another thing. We know these sanctioning bodies like to strip people of their belts, and Arrow is the IBF and the WC champion. He has those two belts. And we know the IBF will pull the belts off of people in a minute. So it's going to be interesting to see if they grant him some type of exemption or what's going to happen. I guess they're going to play it by ear and see what the extent of his injuries are. But yeah. I'm looking at these rankings. Let's just say Errol Spence wasn't injured and the fight is going forward with Danny Garcia. So looking at the IBF, the current IBF rankings, we have Kudratillo Abduquaxarov, who is the number one contender to the IBF belt. Nobody's at number 2. Number 3 is Sergey Lipinets, and Danny Garcia is number 4. Sergey Lipinets is who fought Mikey Garcia. I went to that fight. And I don't understand why Danny is leapfrogging over Lipinets unless Lipinets already has a fight scheduled. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look into that and see why that is. What did you guys think of the announcement when after the Spence Porter fight when Danny Garcia popped up in the ring? Is that a fight you guys are interested in? Let me know. I personally am not interested in that. And it's not a diss to Danny, but why? Why does Danny get the reward of that fight? Keith beat Danny, Sean beat Danny, but Danny goes back and fights Spence? I don't know. Didn't make sense to me. I'm sure it'll be a great fight, and Danny always comes to fight, except that Mauricio Herrera fight. But I don't understand the rationale in that. Hook up Errol with Pacquiao. Garcia Lipinets, in my opinion, is better than Spence Garcia. It makes sense since Danny's a top welterweight, but we don't want to see it's like asking for facts. No, just Crawford Manny at this point. Oh, yeah, and another thing that came out of the fight week too with regards to Errol and Pacquiao and Garcia and all that, the whole energy that Spence was on that entire week, he never wavered. He said if he wins the fight, he wanted Pacquiao or he wanted Crawford. And if he couldn't get Pacquiao or Crawford, then he wanted to move up to junior middleweight and fight Julian J. Rock Williams. How Danny got into the mix of this, I don't know. But that was just weird to me. That was just weird. Mm. Well, that's it, y'all. We have come up on the 60-minute mark. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to my first live shoot. Y'all were so lit. Next time I might do my hair and put some makeup on and everything for you guys. But thank you for tuning in. I'm going to do a next one. I'll let you guys know what's today, Thursday. Maybe I'll do one next Thursday. Maybe I'll make this a Thursday thing. We'll call it Jaywalking with Jay, and we'll talk about whatever is cracking. Until then, peace.